Hey everyone, Kim Levinsky here for the next update of the Tahoe 200 vlog for 2022. Today is Friday, May 13th, and I am getting ready to get on the road, headed out to Black Forest out in Pennsylvania to do a real big training weekend. We are 6 weeks out from Tahoe, so this is really the peak right here. Going to do probably my biggest training weekend and then start to dial it back. Maybe do one more bigger weekend over Memorial Day. But this is pretty much it. This is game time right here. So quick recap on last week. Finished up, let's pull up the training log here. Finished up, it was a low mileage week, 41 miles, but got decent elevation, about 9,300, 9,400 feet of climbing. 2 strength workouts, and it was a race week. Like I mentioned before, we had an event for Sassquad. It was out in Bear Mountain, New York, the Big Bear Squatch. We had a half marathon and a marathon, and we are on a roll for really lousy weather with Sassquad events. The last 3 races we had, let's see, March, April, May, really bad weather. So on Saturday we had a ton of rain to start out. Then it was actually a nice break for a few hours, and then the rain, and we had some sleet. We had a little bit of hail going on. There was a lot happening on Saturday. So my big outing for last week was marking the course. So I did that on Friday, and that took about 7.5 hours to mark the 13 miles of trails. There's almost 3,000 feet of climbing in the course that we had for the Big Bear. So it was really a great training day. Honestly, it was probably the most challenging training day that I've had so far. It rained so hard all day. I had a bigger pack. It weighed probably at least 20 pounds, I think, with all the trail markers. We ended up using probably almost 500 trail markers to make sure everybody stayed on course. So we had the ribbons, we had the arrows, I had a staple gun. There's just a lot going on in the pack. So that was a really good training effort. I remember just thinking, wow, this is really tough, but this is really valuable for Tahoe. So that was the big outing on Friday. Saturday all day was the race. It went really well. We had a ton of people come. I thought the rain would keep people away, but out of 150 that signed up, about 130 came. So those are really good numbers, especially for a first year event. But it was a lot of fun. People really seemed to enjoy it. We had a lot of positive feedback for the first year. So that was Saturday. That was an all-day thing. Again, I look at it as training. So I was up at 4 a.m. at the race site until about 8. And then I actually didn't get home until almost 10 o'clock. There was a really big car accident on my way home. It was actually pretty scary. The person involved was okay, but I was stuck behind fire trucks because the car caught on fire of this other guy. So that delayed. That was tough at the end of a long day. But perspective, I'm thankful that I wasn't involved in the accident. I'm thankful that the guy who was, he walked away okay, even though his car was, it burned to the ground. It was pretty crazy. So anyway, that was Saturday. Sunday, went back out to the race course. I did one final sweep. Just wanted to make sure everything was cleared off when we, left the park better than when we came. And so I was out there for about 3 hours. Got another, few thousand feet of climbing in. So that was the week. It was definitely a cutback week, which I think was good. And now we're at Friday, almost the end of this week. So got in again, but I'm trying to be good here. So reeled it back, reined it back, knowing that this weekend coming up is going to be a really big effort. So got out a couple of times for very short runs. I got my strength work in, the power workout. And now Friday, it's going to be a rest day. I'm going to get on the road here in a little bit. It's about a 4-hour drive out to Pennsylvania. So let me give you the rundown of what's going on. I've been eyeing up this weekend for a while. I knew 6 weeks out I wanted to do a really big effort. And I had a couple of ideas of where I wanted to go. Like I mentioned before, the struggle has been to find somewhere around here that has good climbing, but is not overly technical. And that's really tough to do in my backyard here because we have just a lot of rocks, the Beast Coast here, which I love. I personally love, but this year training for Tahoe, I've been trying to do less of that, trying to focus on more long, sustained climbs that are going to mimic more of what the trails are like in Tahoe. Again, it's kind of like searching for a unicorn out here. It's tough to find those types of trails, but I think having that weekend down in Virginia doing the Promised Land 50K was really valuable. And then I'm hopeful for this weekend that the trail that I've landed on it's going to work out well. So here's the rundown. So I'm going to travel out there, probably get in around 7 or 8 o'clock at night. I got the whole sleep set up in my truck. So I got a little cot set up. So I'm going to sleep overnight, get up pretty early Saturday, probably a little bit before sunrise. And I'm going to do the Black Forest Loop. So the Black Forest Loop, you may have heard if you're on the East Coast of the Black Forest Ultra. That's 100K that goes on here. And it's been ranked as third toughest 100K on the East Coast. That's ranked by the Trails Collective website. So I've heard great things about it. I've had a friend who's done a little bit of the course, and she said that it's a good option for Tahoe training because even though it is a little bit technical, it's not as crazy as what we have around here in Jersey and New York. So the stats, the stats for the Black Forest Loop is about 43 miles and around 9,400 feet of climbing. So the way that I'm going to do it, and I have to thank my friends, Dina and Robin had some really good input on this, and Chris Smith as well. The plan that I've come up with is I'm going to do about 3 different legs. So gonna sleep overnight Friday, get up and go out on Saturday morning and do the Black Forest Loop, which is about 43 miles. Gonna come back to the truck, gonna sleep for a few hours. I'm thinking that the loop is gonna take me about 13 hours. The FKT for women's unsupported is about 10 and a half by Rhoda Smoker, who's such a badass. And so I'm thinking it's gonna take me around 13. So I'm gonna finish probably, in the evening. I'm gonna sleep. The goal is to sleep for a few hours, and then I'm going to get up. It's going to be in the middle of the night sometime, maybe 3, 4 in the morning. I'm not sure what time. And then I'm going to go out and do another leg. So I don't think that I would do the loop again. It'll probably be an out and back. So I'd like to do another at least 6 hours. So I'm not going to worry about mileage. I'd just do based on time. So I'll go out for a few hours and then just turn around and come back. And then I'm going to try to sleep again. And then I'm going to do a third leg. That's kind of the goal, is to get out for another few hours. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to try these new trails. I think not only is this, a training weekend in terms of the volume, and I think the bigger things that I'm going to be practicing are, doing a big leg, coming back and practicing the nutrition, practicing sleeping, and then practicing getting up and going again. So I think those are kind of those are the things I'm looking to take away from the weekend. I've been working with Dina Griffin, nutrition mechanic, and one of the things she encouraged me to focus on this weekend is to rotate in foods that I like but I haven't been using a lot. So I can show you a picture here. This is the spread. This is the spread that we got going. So there's a lot going on. Tried to choose a lot of different options. So I do have, to the right, you can see my go-tos are kind of like the Bobo bars, the Pro bars, the spring gels. And then a couple other go-tos are like trail mix and stuff like that. But I'm bringing in a lot more whole foods, things that are going to be at the aid station for Tahoe. So things like salted potatoes, sweet potatoes. I've got the rice ball mix in that big Tupperware. So I added avocado this time. So in there's rice, bacon, eggs, and avocado. So I'm putting those in Ziplocs. I think those are going to be really good. And I've got the Scratch, a couple of different flavors of Scratch. What else? I'm trying some foods that I don't really love, but I'm going to try it out. I'm not really a sweet tooth Oreos and candy and stuff like that, but I'm bringing that with me to try out some potato chips, tortilla chips. That's kind of the rundown of the nutrition side. It's going to be very warm. It's going to be in the 80s, I believe. So that's another thing Dina's encouraged me to really stay on top of hydration with the Scratch, and then be conscious of having salty foods throughout the day. I am excited because this course, there's a lot of water access, so that's going to make it easy to self-support with filtering the water, but then also staying cool, because that's really been my strategy of when it gets hot, is to just continually get wet, get my head wet to keep the body temperature down. So I think that's going to work out pretty well. I'm excited for the weekend. This is kind of the last big effort here, and it's crazy. It's only 6 weeks away for Tahoe, so it's really coming in hot here. But that is the rundown. I'm planning on taking a lot of videos. I've got my GoPro, so maybe I'll do like a whole separate video of just the experience out there in Black Forest. So that is the recap for this week. I'm going to come back to you in a few days and give you the review of the Black Forest weekend. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next update.